Welcome back to Pell's Fundamentals. We try to bring you quick looks at what's happening in the world. You can find more videos like this on our YouTube channel. And today we're going to look at the Danish Commonwealth meeting.
Yeah.
And particularly what it means for Denmark and Greenland.
Right.
Greenland's been in the news a lot lately,
Yeah.
especially with the former President Trump and his interest in it.
Well, this meeting just wrapped up,
Mm.
and we saw the Danish Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen,
Well.
and the Greenland Premier, Mute Jade, holding a joint press conference.
Okay.
Notably, the Faroes Prime Minister did not participate in this press conference.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So during this press conference, the Danish Prime Minister said that she recognized Greenland's desire for independence.
Right.
And said that ultimately the decision rests with the people of Greenland.
And Denmark has also pledged to increase its investment in Greenland,
Oh.
particularly in infrastructure projects like a new airport.
Wow. So Premier AJ, he called for increased autonomy and a greater voice for Greenland in international affairs, and expressed frustration at what he sees as a slow pace of progress.
Well, adding to this international attention, you have former U.S. President Donald Trump,
Right.
who has expressed interest in acquiring Greenland,
Yeah, I remember that.
even suggesting the possibility of using military force or economic sanctions. His son, Donald Trump Jr., recently visited Greenland.
Wow. So in response, Premier Ayej has stated that Greenlanders want to be neither Danish nor American, but their own independent people.
That's right. And BT's political commentator, Joachim B. Olsen,
Okay.
believes that the balance of power has shifted in favor of Greenland,
Interesting.
with Denmark seemingly treading carefully in its relationship with the island nation.
Wow. So the spiral scandal involving the forced sterilization of Greenlandic women
Right.
was also addressed during the press conference.
Yeah.
Premier Ayed wants justice for the affected women, and Prime Minister Frederiksen acknowledged the need to address this historical event.
Now, the Faroes Prime Minister Axel V. Johannesson reportedly expressed satisfaction with the outcomes of the meeting, but acknowledged that the focus was primarily on the situation between Denmark and Greenland.
I see.
Yeah.
So a report from the Faroes news outlet VP states that Faroes Foreign Minister Hungi Højdahl
Okay.
expressed concern that Denmark won't be using both the Faroe Islands and Greenland as pawns in its dealings with NATO and the U.S. Premier Attach also expressed frustration with the lengthy delays in addressing issues important to Greenland.
Uh-huh.
He specifically mentioned the protracted process of appointing an ambassador from the Arctic region, which took over a decade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was agreed at the meeting that Greenland would have the authority to appoint an Arctic ambassador.
Okay.
Premier Attach also voiced his desire for increased direct engagement with other countries,
Right.
particularly in trade and economic development.
Makes sense.
He mentioned Greenland's interest in expanding trade relations with the U.S.
Okay.
in the area of mineral resources. Prime Minister Frederiksen acknowledged the U.S.'s interest in Greenland, but emphasized that any decisions regarding Greenland's future are solely up to its people.
Got it.
Premier Ajid firmly rejected the notion of Greenland becoming part of the U.S. by stating, "We will not be Danes and we will not be Americans. We will be Greenlanders."
Interesting. So this meeting occurred amidst heightened tensions in the Arctic region,
Right.
particularly involving Russia, which has been increasing its military presence.
Yeah, that's right.
And Greenland's strategic location in the Arctic makes it significant in this geopolitical context.
The U.S. has shown considerable interest in Greenland,
Yeah.
which has generated much discussion.
And it's important to consider the potential consequences of Greenland's evolving status for both the region and the world. And, you know, this interest from the U.S. has really sparked a lot of discussion and debate.
Yeah, definitely. A lot to consider there.
Yeah, for sure. It's, you know, it's important to think about the potential consequences, you know,
Right.
of Greenland's evolving status,
Yeah.
both for the region and the world.
Well, it seems like this Danish Commonwealth meeting brought a lot of issues to the surface.
Yeah, a lot of complexity there.
Trying to balance Denmark wanting to hold on to the Commonwealth
Right.
with Greenland and the Faroe Islands wanting more and more autonomy.
Yeah, and all of this is happening at the same time as we see this geopolitical competition increasing.
Especially in the Arctic,
Exactly. And that has big implications not just for these countries.
but for the whole world, potentially.
Potentially.
Yeah,
It's a really interesting situation to keep an eye on.
definitely. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
Of course. Thanks for
Yes.
having me.